Medrash quotes a pasuk in Nishlei, where Shlomo says, very famous pasuk, "Ateres zekenim b'nei bonim." The crown of the elders are the grandchildren. V'tiferes bonim avosam, and the glory of the children are the forefathers. The Torah, Ateres zekenim b'nei bonim, v'tiferes bonim avosam. Hatzadikim misachim b'nei v'nehem. The elders are esteemed and revered because of their grandchildren that are, we'll see in a moment, that are even, who haven't yet been born. Uvenehem misachim b'avosam. And the children or the grandchildren, they are revered because of who they descend from. What does this mean? Ketzad. Avram nisatir b'schus Yaakov. Avram himself was revered and valued in the merit of Yaakov. Kishehishlach also Nimrod l'tocha kivshon. When Nimrod had thrown Avram into the kiln because he would not bow to the idol, Yord HaKadosh Baruch Hu Latzilo. Hashem descended to save him from the kiln, from the fire, that he should not be incinerated. Omru Malachei Ashores. So the angels had said, Ribono Shel Olam, Master of the universe, L'zat Tomatzil, you're saving him. Kama Rishon Asid Melamod Mimenu. How many Rishoim are meant to descend from him? So why save him? The reason why I'm saving him, because in the future he will have a grandchild by the name of Yaakov. In his merit, I'm saving him. Minayin. How do we know that Avram was saved from the kiln in the merit of Yaakov, who hadn't yet been born, who was his grandchild? Shekachsiv, a pasuk in Yeshaya, L'chein komar Hashem el beis Yaakov. Hashem says you should tell the Beis Yaakov, Asher poda es Avram, the Beis Yaakov, the house of Yaakov, who redeemed Avram. When did the Beis Yaakov redeem Avram? Pedo min HaKivshon. The Beis Yaakov redeemed Avram from the Kivshon, from the kiln. So from here, hooray! So we see here clearly, Nisachu Avos B'Shul Abonim, that the forefathers, the Zekenim, the elders, were revered and valued because of the grandchildren. And this is what Shlomo means, Ateres Zekenim B'nei Bonim. The Torah, the crown of the Zekenim, of the elders, are their grandchildren, even if they haven't yet been born yet, because of the future. So they have value, special value, because of something that's meant to happen, and if they wouldn't be, the future wouldn't take place. It's interesting, the Ramchal in the Das Tfunis writes, we find Moshe Rabbeinu asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu a question, and according to one opinion, he did not answer him. Tzadik viralo, Rosha v'tovlo, which is a question. The tzaddik who has it bad, and the evil one who has it good. Why? So we always explain, the question is not why the tzaddik, which is a more serious question. Tzaddik v'ralo, it's a Rosha v'tovlo. Tzaddik, Rosha v'tovlo is what? Tzaddik v'ralo is not a question. Why is not a question? Nobody's perfect. Shlomo says in Mishlei, in Koheles, Ein tzaddik borza sheyas tov v'lo yechto. There's no perfect tzaddik. Hashem would prefer that tzaddik should pay his debt in this world, so when he passes on from this world, he goes straight to Olam Haba, to the world to come. And as we mentioned in the Ramban, one moment of Gehenna is more serious than all the suffering of Eov encapsulated into one moment. So Hashem would prefer the tzaddik should pay the debt in this world, which is an easier payment of the debt. That's number one. Secondly, the moment he leaves the physical existence, he goes straight into the ultimate level. So that's not a question, because nobody's perfect. The question is Rosha v'tovlo. That is the real question. The Rosha, why should he have it good? So, okay, And even that's not the question. The question is, we understand why it's good. It's explicit pasuk in the Torah. B'shalom Misonov upon of Lavido.
The real question.
What?
Tzadik V'Tovlo is the question.
Wait a second. Rosha v'Ravo v'Tova, also not a question. It says Mishalom Misonov upon of Lavido. Hashem wants to pay off the Rosha in this world. So when he passes on, he goes into the oblivion because he has no interest in the spiritual world, right? So why is it tzaddik Rosh V'Tovlo? Another reason given, and this is a Ramchal, because very often the Rosha may have a grandchild coming down the pike who may be special, and if Hashem would not allow certain things to happen positively for the Rosha, that future is not going to happen. So he allows the Rosha to thrive and to be accomplished and valued to a certain degree because the tzaddik has to descend from the Rosha for that reason. So therefore, that's the negative person. So Avram Avinu, who's the ultimate and the positive, he's the first person who introduced God to existence. He's the first one, as we had the Gemara Brachos, he's the first one to refer to Hashem as Adni, as master. Why did he merit to be saved, although he's going to have Rishoim as his descendants? Because ultimately, the one who totally supersede all of them, and they'll all pale, the Rishoim will pale to him, is Yaakov, who's the one who established Klal Yisrael. Because the objective of creation is Kabbalah Satorah and a Klal Yisrael. Without a Yaakov, there is no Klal Yisrael, there is no Torah. And without an Avram, there is no Yaakov. Therefore, who redeemed Avram from the kiln? The merit of his grandchild. So therefore, this is what Shlomo Melech means and says in Mishlei, who is the crown and who glorifies, causes the grandfather, the elder should be revered, the grandchildren. That's the reason. Now we had the Gemara in Sanhedrin tells us that that a son could bring merit to the father does not bring merit to the child. For instance, although we speak about schus avos only has relevance to this world. When a person leaves this world, you could have had the greatest father, grandfather, it doesn't help you. If your record is negative, the person has to reckon with his own record. So therefore, what about a father wasn't a good person, and he had a special son? The accomplishments of the son will accrue to the father. Because if not for the father bringing the son into existence, all those good deeds couldn't have happened. So that's Bra Mezakalaba. The son brings merit to the father, or to the grandfather. However, if the father's the tzaddik, and he has a son who's a Rosha, and now the Rosha passes on, the merit of the father, the grandfather doesn't help the son. In this world, it'll give him opportunity. That's called schus avos. Hashem will be able to bide his time because it's schus avos. But once a person leaves this world and he did not take advantage of the schus avos, then he's on his own. But a father, he's never on his own, because if he produced anybody who is special, those good deeds accrue to the grandfather or the father, because if not for the father, grandfather, the child would have never come into existence. So again, why was Avram saved? It's only in the merit of Yaakov, Avram Avinu was saved from the kiln. Now, it's interesting. A person dies al Kiddush Hashem. This is the ultimate level of accomplishment. Rabbi Akiva, who is the greatest of the 10 martyrs, one moment of his Torah had greater value than a whole generation of Torah, yet he gave his life al Kiddush Hashem. He died to sanctify God's name. What is the value of that? It's the ultimate value. So if Avram would have died al Kiddush Hashem, that was the ultimate value. So why did he survive? That surpasses anything he could have accomplished in his life. The answer is because there had to be a Yaakov. Because if he would have perished, there wouldn't have been a Yaakov, and there wouldn't have been a Yaakov, there wouldn't have been a Klal, there wouldn't have been a Beis Yaakov, and if there would have been a house of Jacob, there wouldn't have been a Nas of Nishmat Sinai. So therefore, in the ultimate sense, why was he saved? He was saved because there has to be a Torah, and the objective of creation has to be addressed, which can only be addressed through the Beis Yaakov for that reason.
Rabbi?